Hi, my name's Allison. I'm a psychic medium and a farmer. Today's day 17 of Milking My Cow on TikTok. Today's topic is going to be about humble pie and the big slice I had last night. So out of respect for Cricket, the rest of this video will be a voiceover so that I can speak candidly about what happened out in the field.
Ever since we started farming in 2022, my mantra for it has been, I eat a slice of humble pie every day, and some slices are bigger than the other. And I keep this in mind every time I go out to do a task, whether it be milking the cows, moving fences, whatever. You just have to remember you're not in charge and there's always a lesson to learn. Yesterday was a special day for a multitude of reasons, but it was also a special day for Cricket because we needed to give her an injection to put her in heat so that our AI tech could come and service her tomorrow, Sunday, November 2nd, All Souls Day. That felt really good because I know my people in spirit will be here to take care, protect, watch over Cricket during this procedure. We also have a very loving and kind AI tech, so we know that they're in good hands on both sides of the veil. With that being said, Cricket did not like her injection. She did not like the poke. It was just a poke, but that was enough. And when it came time for milking a couple hours later, she simply declared, no, I'm not going to get in the stanchion. I'm not going to do that because you poked me and I did not like it. In Cricket's defense, cows are creatures of habit and they love routine, and her routine has been shaken up a lot. The barn is still being remodeled, the stanchion is still out somewhere new, Poppy is close to giving birth, their water's in a different place. It's just like there's just a lot of different things, and she's up until this point done a really great job of adjusting to those changes, and I've been so proud of her. But this injection was the straw that broke the camel's back for her, and she was on strike. It is important for any type of lactating mammal to be milked on a regular schedule. If you do not, the milk builds up, the pressure, it's sore and it's hard, it doesn't feel good at all, and it increases the chance of mastitis. If you are a current or former breastfeeding mother, you know the situation all too well. It does not feel good. I definitely expected this sort of behavior for Cricket. We started off nice and slow, extra treats, pets, whatever, to coax her into the stanchion in a very loving way. She was not having any of it. We usually milk at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. I went out there knowing that we're not going to be able to milk at 7 on the dot. It's going to take a little longer to get in the stanchion, and that's okay. My husband was also involved because sometimes it's easier to direct cattle when you've got, it's called pressure, but we're actually not touching her, but we're just in her line of sight and guiding her with our bodies of where we'd like her to go. It feels important to note that normally in these situations, we would just put a lead on her and direct her into the stanchion, but because our barn is getting upgraded for Poppy's baby, that area where we can close her off into a smaller space is not currently able to be used for this purpose. It's part of the build out. So we're talking 7 p.m., it's dark, it's cloudy, very little moonlight, 20-mile-an-hour winds, a little under 50 degrees. It's really not pleasant out there. And Cricket starts running around the field basically saying, you can't catch me, you can't make me do this, I don't wanna, nah. We don't yell at our animals. We try lots of different techniques. Temple Grandin is a wealth of information about how to work with animals in a way that keeps their stress level down. So all of these, we've got a lot of tools in our toolbox. We tried using them. It was about an hour and a half of trying to coax her into the stanchion, and she just said no. Now, we also have to consider, we don't want to stress her out because she's in milk and she's in heat, and we want her to be nice and stress-free, not only for her daily quality of life, but we also want her being very relaxed and not stressed at all before she gets her AI service. So my husband and I both agree, we're not going to milk her tonight. We don't want to stress her out anymore. We don't want to stress Poppy out because she's due any day with her baby, and it's just not worth it, especially not worth it to potentially injure us or the animals. And he went back inside. I told him I would take care of bringing the milking equipment back in. Here's where that big slice of humble pie gets served up. I am Cricket's caretaker, not her owner, and I decided that I knew more about what she needed right now than she did. So I did one last attempt to get a harness over her ears so that I could guide her to milking. Sometimes when we try and interfere with someone or something's lesson they need to learn, we actually make it worse. And that's exactly what I did. And I'm not proud of it. I did get the lead over Cricket's ears, but the rope slipped out of the hoop, and instead of it being over her ears and around her nose, it was hanging from around her neck with a long rope that she could step on and potentially choke herself. Great. Perfect. That was worth it, right? So then I spent another hour and a half outside trying to slowly coax her into allowing me to get close enough to remove this dangerous item that was now around her neck because of me and my ego. I talked to her verbally and telepathically during this time, and I didn't call my husband out because Poppy was actually helping me better than another human ever could. Poppy was chewing her cud, which is a sign of a happy cow, right next to Cricket to show her that it was safe and okay, and she did not sense any danger. Poppy also used her body as a way to block Cricket from running back out into the field to help me try and grab the lead so that I could get it off from around her neck. So without Poppy's help, I would not have been able to grab onto the rope and release it so that it would come off from around Cricket's neck. Once the rope was off and everyone was safe, I put my hands on Poppy, one on her back and one on her belly where her PJ is, and thanked them both for being of assistance to me and help me correct the error I had made. All of the dust and grasses and leaves and everything that had been blowing around into my eyes over that past 2.5 hours made my eyes completely swollen and puffed up, as you can probably see in the video, and I had to put drops in and I couldn't breathe. I've got a lot of allergies. That doesn't stop me from doing farming, but this was a especially tough one. I got to sleep, but I was woken up probably 5 to 10 times throughout the night because guess who decided she wanted to be milked at 2 a.m.? It was Cricket, and we could hear her bellowing out our bedroom window. They know where we are at in the house, and she will bellow and just moo and moo and moo and moo in the middle of the night. I wasn't going to get up. At least I knew she'd be ready to milk this morning. So I woke up, not well rested, puffy, swollen eyes, got my gear on, and while I was filling up the thermos with warm water, I started box breathing because I knew I had to clear my mind of anything that happened in the past. I did not need to drag that on throughout the day. I needed to live in the present and be in the present so that Cricket would get up in the stanchion with me. And guess what? She was bellowing at me. And as soon as I got there, she went right to the stanchion, and here we are, milking just as nothing had ever happened last night. So because of our stubbornness, both mine and Cricket's, we both learned the lesson of giving in and being flexible the hard way last night. Sometimes that's how you gotta learn lessons. I'm going to make sure to only need to learn this lesson one time. I'm not going to do it again. Hopefully, Cricket does the same.
Thanks so much for joining us on day 17, and hopefully tomorrow's slice of humble pie is a little bit smaller.